Hi, Scorpio. This is your guided singles love reading. I've already meditated on the cards and I've pulled three cards for you, Scorpio. First is the Sacred Woman and the Emotional Freedom card, and your third card being the Love card. So the first card is the Sacred Woman card. And this card is a very beautiful card because this card really talks about your power, your divinity, your integrity to yourself and how you view yourself. And just kind of recognizing yourself like on a deeper level, all the power that you hold. If you can see this card, she holds a lot of power in her hand. So this is really truly about seeing yourself, and how you're treating your own self as well. This being a guided reading and talking about what are the things that you need to know, as a singles Scorpio. Um, this card is really telling you that you are a very powerful being. Okay, and it's reminding you of everything that you can do in your life, and that we all have the power to lead, right? Talking about this from a relationship perspective, the Sacred Woman reminds you, kind of like a reminder of where you came from. Okay, like we all came from love, right? We all have light and love and power inside of us. So the Sacred Woman is reminding you of who you are, where you came from, and as a guidance card asking you, have you been portraying these characteristics when you are in a relationship? Um, whether it's a romantic relationship or with other people. When you approach your relationships, are you taking the time to remember who you are, remember your power, remember that you are a sacred, loving being, that you come from light, that you come from love? Um, are you showing up with those characteristics? You know? Um, so yeah, this is a really beautiful card and a really good reminder for yourself, Scorpio. As you walk into any relationship, do you feel powerful, or are you giving your power away? Next up, you have the Emotional Freedom card. Again, this is such a beautiful oracle. This is such a beautiful card. And the Emotional Freedom tells me that this is something that is really important to you, is kind of, having that space for yourself and having that individuality. Perhaps when you are moving into a relationship, um, there may be a little bit of fear because you are someone who really values freedom. You value your own space. And perhaps moving into a relationship with someone, this is something that really scares you, because this is something that you hold dear, uh, to your heart, something that's very important to you. So perhaps when you walk into a relationship or even think about being in a relationship, you may be afraid that you are going to lose yourself in that relationship, and perhaps you feel like you have to be very protective of your individuality. And, again, thinking about this from a guidance perspective, from a single guidance perspective, um, if you have this fear of, losing your individuality, what are those things that you can do if you have a fear of losing yourself in a relationship, but you want to be in a relationship, then perhaps it's time for you to kind of start thinking about yourself in a relationship, right? And start thinking about how can you cultivate uh, beautiful experiences in the relationship, but also cultivate hobbies that are separate from your loved one, right? So how do you keep your freedom but still be in a loving relationship? And perhaps that is through having open communication with your partners, having different groups of friends, having different hobbies that you do separately. And those are probably some ways that you can cultivate emotional freedom. But Scorpio, this is something for you to think about if you are experiencing some of that fear. If you are thinking, well, I want to be in a really loving relationship and I would really like to attract someone, but in my prior relationships, I felt like I was losing myself. Um, and I am with you on this, Scorpio. We have to have time for ourselves. We have being the best version of ourselves means we need to love ourselves first, right? In order to show up healthy for our partners, we need to have our own space and our own freedom. So that is something that is really important in a relationship. So those are some things for you to think about is, you know, what can you do to when you're one to be in a healthy relationship? What are those things that you can do to um, still have your freedom but still be in a loving relationship? And then the last card is the love card, which again, look at all the beautiful colors. And this card just kind of exudes happiness. And I think Scorpio, Um, I think that perhaps you really are looking for love. You are wanting to attract someone. But perhaps I think you're also looking internally, or there is a need to look internally to remember your power and to remember a powerful woman can have emotional freedom and still be in a very healthy relationship. And um, you can attract love. You have the power to attract love. We are love, right? So we already have love within ourselves. um, but I think this card is also inviting you to think about what does love really truly mean for you. What is the definition of love for you? We all have different ideas of what love is supposed to feel like or what love is supposed to look like. So Scorpio, what does love look like for you? Is it someone that takes action, right? Someone that says, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to plan today's date, and I'm going to plan this, etc." Is it someone that takes action, or is it someone that just feels like home, that brings security um, to your heart? Is the person that you're attracting or that you want to attract, it's got to be someone that kind of tugs at your heartstrings, right? Makes you feel at peace, makes you feel at joy. But again, these are all things that you have to think about if you are trying to attract someone to come into your life. Is how are you showing up? Are you in your power? Do you remember where you came from? Do you remember that you are love and light and just a super powerful, sacred person? And do you understand that you have the power to create emotional freedom within yourself and within the relationship? You can create this freedom. You can still be yourself and still share a loving a loving relationship with somebody else. And what kind of love is that for you? Something for you to think about. Based on this reading, I think you are a very powerful soul, and I think that you are going to be attracting this beautiful love that you are looking for. I hope this message speaks to you, Scorpio. That's it for today. Please like and subscribe.